Ram Ram Sabke. Welcome to the Gyan Sarovar channel, the Knowledge Lake channel. This is Payal once again. So today I want to discuss about the significance of one of the stories from the Ramayana. So in the Ramayan, we talk about Mata Shabri. We learn about how she used to put all the flowers on the path and wait for Lord Ram. So now there's two things which I would like to discuss. You see these beautiful flowers right ahead. Okay. So flowers play a very significant role in all of our lives. It's like a blessing from Mother Prakriti or Mother Nature. And to pick flowers, it takes time. To lay them down as a path, it takes time, patience. What Mata Sabri did was simply did one essential thing, which is to collect flowers, put them like a pathway from the gate of our house um, to the compound, the outside gate. And she used to do this daily on a regular basis, not just one day, but every day. And at that time, when there was Treta Yugam, people used to live more than 1,000 years, more than 1,000 years and 1,000 or 10,000 years. So for Sahasravash, Sahasra means 1,000. So she kept doing that, and we know that Mata Shabri's background was such that um, she was she was one of the Sishya of Rishi Matanga. Rishi Matanga is one of the celebrated rishis in the Ramayan, and he left his body. Uh, it is called that process is called samadhi. He took Brahma Samadhi, and after Brahma Samadhi, he asked Mata Shabri to wait for Lord Ram, and when Lord Ram comes, to then leave her body, like take samadhi, because she had the yogic powers to dispel her prana as per her wishes. So waiting for 1,000 years, it's not easy. It takes a lot of patience. A lot of times, Mata Shabri, she waited, and she, from her young days, she became a fine young woman, and then she became an old woman. And in that old age also, she kept plucking the flowers. You know how things get harder as you age. The daily tasks become even more difficult as you age. So Mata Shabri, there's a lot of glory in the small tasks that she did, which became enormous because these small tasks are no joke when it's done for 1,000 years. It becomes tapasya or tapas. Tapas means to burn, uh, to ignite the devotional fire in you. That means tap or tapas. And that tapasya, the idea of just waiting for Lord Ram. So every day she used to collect something similar to that, and she used to make sure that there's no thorns, there's no nothing kind of like very difficult or like kind of like very sharp under the flowers, and she used to pat it with her hands. And just imagine the kind of dedication, the kind of love, the kind of sincerity in her devotion, and the kind of feeling. To others, she was like a mad woman who was just waiting for Lord Ram. And, you know, but to the Lord and what she was to herself, she knew it deep inside her very core. She knew that one day her guru's words will become true. So Mata Shabri waited despite the laughter of everybody, despite the worthlessness that she felt, despite the difficulties that went ahead, collecting flowers, growing flowers year round, and maybe somebody just going around swashing the path, she making it again. So it's a daily routine for her. And this seemingly simple task became enormously painstaking when she was towards her old age, but she persevered. The task, which maybe took her an hour in her young age, took a whole day to maintain in her old age. Like from the young days to old age, it took more time. So, what I'm trying to say here is that perseverance, devotion, devotion with, you keep on, you plug the flowers. You think like, okay, I've chosen the flowers, I've selected it. Then you recheck yourself, you doubt yourself, and you think, have I done something which is contrary, or have I done something right, or is there anything, an error that I can correct, because she petted the flowers. And that small lesson which we get uh, in from Mata Shabri is that we should, whenever we do devotion, we should check ourselves again and again, again and again. Are we on the right path? Are we doing the right thing? Is there anything which I can add or delete to make myself better or improve my way of devotion? So Mata Shabri, she's the pinnacle of navdha bhakti, the 9 types of devotion. And she just spoke about spoke volumes about strength, inner strength. And people were mocking her, people were laughing her. And when Lord Ram came, the time when Lord Ram came in Treta Yugam, uh, there were other, it was a village. There were other monks, other rishis, other saints, other people who were seemingly more pious than Mata Shabri, because she came from a tribal group called Bhilini, and she was despised because Rishi Matangya, despite her Bhilini tribe, you know, she was given much more recognition by the Rishi, because he was a seer. He could see way beyond what these saints could see, and hence there was like an envy in the eyes of others who thought they were much more superior than Mata Shabri. So when Lord Ram came and looked for Mata Shabri, because she was going to find the way to meet Hanumanji's, Hanumanji and Kishkinda and Sugriv. So all this information was with Mata Shabri, and people on her sides, they noticed that, okay, Lord Ram is coming, I'll invite him home because he's the Lord, and we have heard many famous things about him. And then they said, oh, Lord, Mata Shabri, she doesn't know anything, just come home to my place, I'll tell you everything. And then they said, come and drink some water. But when they brought water from their house, the water became muddy, because their devotion had some sort of murkiness in them, some sort of you know weakness. So that weakness showed in the amount of time they tried to bring water for Lord Ram while he was asking for Mata Shabri's address. And then nobody could give him even a glass of water, because the divine knows your heart. The divine understands your heart more than anything else. So he kept working, and somebody pointed out, okay, there's Mata Shabri, there's the way. And Mata Shabri, she was still making the path straight. And then she looked up, and there was Lord Ram and Sri Lakshman. And then, as described by her guru, she just had a glance like that. She saw that they're there, and she could say, "Are you Lord Ram?" And she couldn't even speak. She knew it was them, and tears of devotion just welled up in her eyes, and it was so much, so overwhelming, that she was just at the feet, and she washed their feet with just the tears. just the tears. And because she was always maintaining the pathway when she was old age, uh, in her senior times, she was at the ground level and they were standing up. That was the reason why she could just, could not stop herself, because the ground was there and she was just welling up and just being gracious for the Lord to just find her. And for a moment she became very berserk. She was like, what do you want? Can I get you water? Can you get you something to eat? What would you like to do? What can I offer you? Please come, please come. So, that bizarre moment was there. And Lord Ram, just swept away by the sheer love and devotion of Mata Shabri, just went ahead and just, wherever she laid the mat, a simple mat, not a golden mat, just a simple, humble mat that villagers use outside their house, outside the grass hut. Just put it there. And Lord Ram, instead of sitting anywhere else, he sat like swept away by love and just sat there. So much love, dignity, just like it's the best place on earth for him. And so did Sri Lakshman. And she had some bear. Bear is the Indian apple. Um, the Indian apple, she kind of like ate every one of them a little bit, and she kind of like tasted. If it's kind of like very sweet, then she'll put it inside her bag. If not, she'll throw it away if it's sour, because she wants only the best, only the sweetest fruits. So whenever we are choosing something for God, we should try our best to give our best to him or to her. And she did her best. Of course, she has eaten something. We have this notion that nobody should touch the God's food, should not eat it before him, before he is offered. And here it was the reverse. The devotee had such a beautiful heart that she wanted only to serve the most sweetest fruit, and there is no better device than your tongue, and you cannot taste it otherwise. So she just had tears again, and she was so happy, ecstatic, and she just like gave like one of, already like it was selected. She had gone to the forest early in the morning and got the bear, and she was giving one by one, just feeding him. And Lord Ram, without looking here and there, just looked at her eyes and just kept eating. And he he praised the berries. He said, this is the most sweetest berries I've ever eaten in my entire life. There is absolutely nothing in this world which is close to this. And he praised, and he knew the heart of Mata Shabri. And for that moment, the connection between the divine and the bhakta, there is a maryada, which is like knowing your limitation, knowing he is Lord and you are devotee, just sitting there serving him with all devotion, with all love, and just basking in the glory, in the love, in the supreme ocean. And this time the ocean was getting a little bit of drop of love, which is a reflection of him, of course, but he was enjoying that moment, and he knew that it is pure, because he knew the essence which he has for everybody. So what Mata Shabri is displaying here in a small pack is something like a droplet, is something the Lord has for us, for all of us. He loves us immensely, that if we are able to do anything with our sincere heart, he will definitely let us progress in this path. And so it happened that this whole process kept on going, and the divine knew that it will take 1,000 years, because the waiting, he wanted to test the devotee's patience. He said, okay, she displays a very good devotion, how about I test her? And what would be the test? Wait, the waiting game. The waiting, if you look at our society today, waiting is such a difficult thing to do. We want everything in a jiffy, in moments. And he is Mata Shabri showing us that sabr means patience, and it takes patience to build something beautiful, to meet the divine, to meet the divinity, to look at the divinity. It takes years, and you can do a simple task. You don't have to do phenomenal mantras. You don't have to do, you know, elaborate things, elaborate disciplines. Your discipline can be very simple, but you have to pursue it every day. You have to do it every day. So spirituality, if we understand from Mata Shabri, is not your title, name, fame, anything. As Guruji used to say, that these are not what the Lord looks for. He doesn't look for mantras. He doesn't look for sophistication. He doesn't look for any kind of pretense. He wants you in your truest form, as you are, in your pure love. And if we look inside everybody, in our hearts, the one thing which is there in us is love. Love is like the rawest and the purest we can be, to love that way, without expecting anything, without expecting even them to come fast. Yeah, Lord, I'm praying to you, come fast. Please. So it's not a transaction for the Lord and the devotee. It's such a beautiful lesson, but it is equally excruciatingly painful, because not everybody can do that. Not everybody can do that. That's why the title of Navdha Bhakti goes to Mata Shabri, and that's why it is so important to understand this story. And you may not understand it in a phase in your life, but as you grow older, as you get experience in life, as you go through your life journey, you will understand that there's a Mata Shabri in all of us. In all of us, there's a Mata Shabri, that we are all waiting for the Lord. We may go in the other direction, we may go in whichever direction we want, but at the end of the day, our soul craves to only see the Lord. And we are like babies crying, and we are crying from eons and eons, and we are wanting to know the Lord. But how can we know the Lord is when we remove the layers which we have covered ourselves with, pretense, with envy, hate, with greed, with ego. Ego also comes in two different ways. It can be good ego and bad ego. Good ego is like, I'm the smartest, and the bad ego is like, I am the most spiritual person on earth. I am more spiritual than him. So trying to curb that. Look at Mata Shabri. She picked up the flowers, she petted them. She doubted her own self. Like, that's the way to ensure that you are not above the other person. Everybody has a journey. Respecting their journey and respecting your own, knowing your worth, knowing and having full trust. It's something so difficult, so rare to do, but that's what it's required in devotion. If the story makes you happy, please share it, and thank you for listening. I hope Mata Shabri also emerges in you, and you also follow the spiritual path. So I'll be making more of these fun videos. Happy to connect with you all. Take care. Thank you. Jai Shri Ram.